And welcome back to our second session for Android programming. So if you don't understand at any point, you're very free to do what? To ask a question or to ask me to pause. Yeah, otherwise if you keep quiet and we leave you behind, it may become a problem for you. So without wasting much time, let us start from how we stopped that in the previous videos and the previous class. Let me open what we looked at in the previous class. We looked at layouts, and then what we're going to look at in this class, we're going to go through what I posted in the YouTube channel. We're going to go through those videos, and we're going to be a little bit faster. Let me search it here, and I show you my Android course tutorial. Okay, it is here. So I posted about Android structure, Android app structure. I posted about common Android attributes. I posted about text views, edit,
Hello.
yes, activity layouts, and circular view. Yes, please. And life
Can you
cycle.
please increase your phone?
Try to zoom your camera because my font is already increased. Try to zoom your.
It's same as last time.
Yeah, but this time I did what? I used on the bigger screen. How can I increase even the font? Yeah. This time I'm using a bigger screen. A smaller screen, like the way I did in the previous time. When I open Android Studio, it will be clear maybe. Okay, so try to just adopt. So I hope, Fatmata, can't you see this? Let me reduce on resolution. Let me reduce on resolutions. Resolution. Recommended. Apply this. Okay, I hope there you can see now. I hope. Try to see, try to be just attentive. Okay, without wasting much time, guys, let us start the business. So I'm going to open, and we're going to look at these things that I posted in the previous videos, and I'm going to be a little bit faster, that we should get done with them in time. So I'm going to open a new project by simply clicking on new project. Why is it slow? Because I changed the resolution, it has got confused. There we go. So I'm going to say an empty activity, and then I'll say next. Then I say how should I call this one? I'm going to call it I'm going to call this one introduction to, and I'm going to put it here. I'm going to go where I always take our class from, which is this folder, and then I'm going to put here another folder. I can put it from here. Okay, so it's gonna be stroke intro. It's going to be 003 underscore introduction to. So I'm going to click finish, and then this project will be created. So I've zoomed. I think there you can see clearly. So the project is being processed. So there we are going to look at what at app structure. In the previous classes, I discussed a little bit about app structure, and then in this class we're going to look a little bit deeper of how Android application is organized. Then look at common views of Android application, and then Android image view and the rest. So it is loading, it is preparing the application. As it is preparing, let me pause let me pause the video. To pause the video is F5. It is Ctrl. We have let's look at the structure of Android application again. Members, try to be attentive that you can understand how Android app is organized. We say that we have the manifest, and this is only a single file. And this manifest, what it does, it defines everything that is that we're going to use in our Android application. It is just like table of context. It defines the activities that will be in our Android application. When we start using permissions in our mobile phone, permissions like accessing the storage, accessing the network, accessing the accessing the Bluetooth, such things, connectivity and the rest, we'll be putting those permissions here. So if you don't have permission listed in this manifest, then you cannot be able to do it, to access that permission, that resource. So this Android manifest is the main file, or the main file that shows what is going to be used in the in our application. All the activities will be registered here. The application icon, application name, you see, all of them, they are here. So that is the Android manifest. Then you have the activities, classes, and then the activities for activity layouts. So the activity classes, they are activity classes, they are stored in the Java class, as you can see here. So all the activities, all the classes that will have Java classes, they'll be in this folder of Java. And then we have now the layouts. The layouts, the front end that we'll be viewing in the in our application, and those are under layouts. So we have three things: the Android manifest, the Java classes or Java objects, Java classes. Then we have now the resources that we'll be using. So there are the three sections that separate the Android application. Those are the structure. That's the structure. Three parts: the manifest, the Java classes, and then the resources. So resources it includes mainly of layouts. Layouts, these are what user will be able to see in their screens. Then we have drawables. Drawables, these are the resources that we'll be using. For example, images. If you have to use images, if you have to use like MP3 songs, like if you have to use videos in our application, those videos will be stored under here, under drawables. Then still have other things such as values. So under values, you'll find things that we'll use most times, such as colors. For example, colors, I'll show you how these colors are used. So we can define here colors only one time, just like the way we did in HTML. We could define things in CSS and then we reuse them. So here also Android, it's almost the same thing. Under resources we have values, and under values we have colors. So here in colors, we define some colors that we're going to use in our application. Then you have strings. So those strings are the words that we'll be using. For example, our application here, application name is defined here. So what does it mean? It means that we don't need to hard code this application name within our application. So that we should be able to do to change something at any time, and every part of the application will be updated. I'll show you what it means. And then we have the themes. So these themes are the ones that we use to design our application, or the colors of application, how the application should look like. So those are called themes. So it is just like the CSS file that we always create in our HTML. You define how the head should look like, you define how the footer should look like, you define how paragraph should look like. So those things, you define them under here, under themes. So that is the structure of Android application: the manifest, the Java classes, and resources. Among resources, you have layouts, and then after layouts and drawables, Then after drawables we have values, and among values have colors, themes, and dimensions, as we'll see them. So those are the main three parts of the Android application. Graduate scripts, we'll look at them later. So if you want to look at your project of Android properly, clearly, and you see what is going on behind, just click here and then say project. When you click there and say project and click on project, you'll see now what is behind the curtains. Like here, this is the name of your application. These are external libraries that our application will depend on, but you don't need to know all of them. You don't need to know them, in fact. But what you need to know is here, this application. For example, this is 003 application. This is where our application is located. So if we click on, if you change it to project structure view, they'll show you that your application is here. Don't mind about these test ID and the rest. Don't mind about them, but your application is here. So you have application, and under application you have libraries that you'll be using. But right now I've not used any library, so this thing is still empty. And then under application you have the SRC, or the source code, the source code. So under source code you have this test. Don't mind about tests. But under source code, the main thing is the important thing is the main activity. Main folder. So inside the main folder is now where you'll find your code that you'll be writing. Of course, inside the main folder, in fact, if I give you assignment, or if I gave you project to do, what you should be submitting, you should be just submitting the main folder, because you can see the main folder is the one that is containing everything that I was talking about. Can you see? Inside the main folder, it is where we are having the Java folder, and it's where we are having all the resources as to and the manifest on top of it. I hope you can see. So this one, main folder, has the main three parts of our Android project: the manifest, the resources, and the Java classes. So this is how application is organized. So for example, if you go under Java, you'll find the package that you're going to use. When you proceed, I'll show you the meaning or the usefulness of these packages, how we need and how we use these packages. But for now, just take this one package, no problem, the default package. So you see, we have the first package, which is having our only activity that we've put there. So if we have to put another activity, we simply add here another activity like that, new activity, then it will come under this package, which is under Java. Then under resources, we have what? We have our drawables, we have our layouts. You know the meaning of layouts. So under layout is nothing but what? But XML file. So you see, we have the values. Under values, we have colors and strings. Let me open it directly and you see how it looks like in the folder. I'm trying to explain this so that you should understand the foundation or the basics properly, not to just jump into things, because you may ask, like, why are you not doing practicals? Why are you explaining so much? No, I want you to understand properly. That's why I'm explaining. Oh, I've not started our timer. I think we've gone for 10 minutes. Set our time again. What? 10 hours. 1 hour and 5 minutes. Okay, that's 1 hour and 25 seconds. Okay, we'll see. Okay, that's just 1 hour. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, that let me open our folder, and you see how the application is organized. So my application under SRC, under this computer, under C, under SRC, under Android session projects. So here, introduction 3, introduction 2, and then you see when I open introduction 2, then you see the application. And the main important folder, this one, it is the app. So the app is having SRC, and SRC is having main. So main is where you'll find all your content of. You can see Android manifest. It is nothing but what? an XML file. Can you see? Android manifest.xml. These are just so the IDE will help us to create these things. Otherwise, if you have too much energy, you can write them by yourself. So you see Android resource. If you open here Java, it's nothing but a Java class. Can you see? Main activity.java. It is just a Java class. I can even open it with the text editor and I see. You see? Let me open the text editor. This is just a Java class. You see? So the ID is the one that will help us to create it and putting the colors that you should be able to identify. You see? This is just a Java class. Then if you go back to under the resource, you'll find layouts, and under layout, you see you're having main activity, and this main activity is nothing but an XML file. You'll find the values, and under values you see we're having colors. It's just an XML file, and we're having strings. It is just an XML file. So you can as well even come and write them by yourself. So don't think that it is Chinese or there's something magic there behind. No, these are just they're just files. I hope you have understood that. So let me switch back now to our Android project view. So to switch back, you simply click on project and then select Android. Then Android Studio will organize it for you like this. So if you have opened so many things and you need to collapse them, you see, like sometimes it may become too much. So if you want to collapse them, you just simply click on this wheel, then it will collapse. No, you click on this icon, then it will collapse everything for you. Can you see? Now our project looks cleaner. So I've opened this class, and if you want to drive direct to this class, you just simply click on this wheel and then to drive you to that class. You see, it will take me direct to this class. So let me run this application so that you should be able to see what is going to what application should display. So that is the structure of Android. That is how Android is organized. So never get confused that much, but you should know how your files are organized, and I've shown you how they are organized. So we will proceed to Android structure. It's done. We're going to look at common attributes of Android. Common attributes of Android. Common attributes. So we have common attributes that we use in Android programming. So let me go to the layout. I'm going to show you the just common ones. So I'm going to extend this one here. In fact, you can hide this folder from here. Members, don't wake up one day and you don't find this one, then you think that there's a problem. You can hide this. You see, you can hide this project from here. You can hide it from there. Okay, so I've hidden this project files here. So I want the source code, so I click on split, then I'll have the source code and my file. So if I go and open our emulator, you can see we're having our application there running. So I'm going to show you the most common thing that we use in Android programming. So the most common one that we use, we have what we call a gravity. Our layout width and height. Already that one already know. Layout width and height. You must define that for every element that you put in your project of Android. So height and width, you have to define it every time. The other one, we have gravity. So gravity, let me show it works. Gravity, for example, let me change this one to linear layout, that you should see. Linear layout, linear layout. So if I change to linear layout, remember, I hope you can see. I zoomed, but it's like I hope you can see there. So the linear layout, when I just change to linear layout, this one will collapse here to top. So let me add the size. Let me increase the size of this text view. So to decrease the size, I'll just simply say size, just write text size. You see, it will suggest for me. Then I'm going to put, for example, 25 dp. or SP. Okay, so this is hard-coded dimension. Can you see? It is hard-coded dimension, and most of the time it will give us a warning that it is not good to hard-code a dimension or to hard-code the size. You know the problem. In case we wake up one day and we want to change this size, and we have written this size around 20 times. So what will happen? What will happen is that we will have to change every part of our application, which will be so hectic. So what if we have a way that we can define these dimensions only one time and then we reuse them? Are you listening, members? Are you listening? Be interactive. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so just be interactive and be attentive. What if we have a way that we could do what we could write this dimension only one time and then we reuse them? So there is a way. Under that way, we can come here under project, and then here under resources, under values, we can define here dimensions. But if you don't want to define that by yourself, you can as well use the IDE to define it for you. Just go to write the dimension in a hard-coded dimension, press Alt and Enter, and then say extract dimension resource. If you want to get a solution for an error, or if you want to get a solution for a warning, just go to that warning, click on it, and then press Alt and Enter. Let it give you the suggestion. Press Enter. You see, they say that if we need to rename this dimension, the point here that what I want to do, I want to define this dimension somewhere so that I should be able to do what? To use it multiple times. So I just press Alt and Enter, then extract dimension. Then I have to give this resource a name so that I should be able to do what? To recall it again and again. So I can call it maybe medium. Okay. So if I say medium, what will happen? And let's say okay. You see, this one, it is now at dimen medium. So at means that we are referencing somewhere. So if you go back to at dimen medium, so it means that this text size has been fixed somewhere and we can reuse it again and again. So one day if we wake up and not change our medium size, we can just go and change only one part on our folder, in our file, and then every part which is having this dimension will be updated automatically. So if you want to see where this dimension is, you see under values there is one thing that has been added, which is the dimens. This dimens.xml. So if you open it, you'll see there's what you call a resource, and then you have a what? We have what you call a resource, and then you have a dimension, which is medium. You see? So we have defined a dimension called medium. So it means that this one we can use it again and again and again and again in different parts of our project to avoid repetition as well as saving time. So that's how it is done. For example, I can define here small. So I can define my other dimension called small. I can define another dimension called large. And another good thing about this one, you can as well use this in another project. Just copy it and paste in another project, or just import that file to another project. So I have large, I have what? Extra large. Maybe I can define it to 45. 45. And then maybe I can have XXL large. Maybe I can define it what? To 60. So you see, I'm defining my dimensions. Likewise, you do the same to colors, you do the same to everything that may need to be coded, hard coded. So you see, so if I come here and I say at what? At dimen, you see, they suggest for me my dimension, and then I put stroke. You see, I can put now my small. Remember, I've already defined a small. If I've already even defined extra large. So you see, it is now extra large. If I press Ctrl and click on it, it will take me to the size that I was referencing. Hadija, did you understand this? Hadi, did you understand it? Hadi, are you there? Members, are you really following? Hadi, unmute yourself and speak. Okay, you have sent a message, yes. Why are you not able to speak?
The mic is not good. The earpiece is not good.
But I can hear you now. Where is Fatmat? I cannot see her. Where is Fatmat? I cannot see her in class. You guys, maybe you've gone to eat again. I like eating. So, I hope you've understood that, Hadi. Hadi, did you understand it? That was the question, in fact. Hadi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, so that's how we use these resources. You can define even strings. For example, this hello world. For example, I can say hello world and then extract it. You see, I just say press Ctrl and what, and enter. Then you just give it a what, greetings. For example, I can give it a name called greetings. Then I say okay. So you see, you see this one is being replaced now from what, from strings. So if I come under strings, you'll find I have defined what, a greeting. Okay, so I can say hello there instead. So if I just update this one, then every part in my project where they're using these greetings, it will be updated automatically. As you can see, it has been changed to where, to hello there. So that's how we can reuse these resource files and values. So if I come here and I was saying that I've looked at match parent, the height and width. So if I come and give it another thing called gravity, so gravity, it will define where this layout should be laid. For example, have gravity center. So this element will be placed in the center of its container. Can you see? Gravity means where this element should be placed. Let me give this background color so that you should see properly. So I can say background, and then you see I have these colors, maybe at colors purple 700. So where does this color come from? It comes from these colors because already defined them. You can even define some by your own self. So I can give it purple 500, purple 700 because they're already defined here. Okay, and then after I can maybe say text color, text color white. So it is white. You see, I'm referencing. I'm not hard coding these things. So if I don't hard code them, it means that I can come this side and do what, and change them only a single time, and every part will be updated. I can just say padding, maybe small. So you see, so it means that one day if I wake up and I want to change the padding, I just come here and change it only one time, and every part of my application will do what, will be updated automatically. Other than hard coding, I can as well hard code it, but it's not recommended. So after doing that, I will you see, I was explaining this meaning of gravity. You see, I was explaining this meaning of gravity. So gravity, it will align. It will align where the element inside the layout should be placed. You see, we are having here gravity and we say center. So this element has been placed in the what? In the center. So if I remove it, I press, if you want, you see it is flopping on top. So if you want to see the possibilities of values that can be placed in the gravity, just press, in any attribute, you press Ctrl and space. That is very important, members. You have to know it. Ctrl and space. It will give you possible things that you can add in your what, in your attribute. So if, for example, if I say gravity right, you see it is going there and right. So before we proceed, let me first explain this clearly. Members, listen carefully. Gravity will determine how the content inside a layout should be organized or should be aligned. For example, you can see we're having this linear layout. Let me give it orientation. Remember, orientation vertical. So gravity, it is the one that is determining what things inside the layout should, or how they should appear and where they should appear. That is the meaning of what? of gravity. So we can say gravity. I can add here another parameter, press this bar, the standing bar, and then press like this. I can give and press space and center. I mean press space, I mean control and space, then you see other possible things that you can add. So you can say right center. So what do you expect to go? It will go right in the what? In the middle of its parent that is containing it. So if I say center, what do you expect to go? In the middle. So if I say center bottom, it will go in the bottom. If I say maybe bottom, for example, if I say bottom, that will make no sense because it's repetition, but I can say bottom right, so it will go in the what? In the side of right. So you can play with these ones by just doing like this. Okay, so that is the gravity. Gravity will determine where the element should be placed. If I say center, bottom center, you know what it will go? It will go bottom, but in the what? In the middle. So gravity will determine where the element should be placed. That's a very important attribute. I have another attribute called gravity layout. So let me first remove this gravity and you see what it means by gravity layout. Okay, no problem. Okay, let me put it just in center and you see center. Okay, we have center vertical to only center vertical. So I'll try to, let me give remove this padding. Let me give it what? Width, specific width, and say maybe it is okay, there, no problem. Okay, so we have understood the meaning of what? Of gravity. The meaning of gravity, it is where it specifies how the content should be placed. Then we have what we call gravity layout. Gravity what? Gravity layout. So gravity layout will determine where the layout itself should be placed. You see, it will determine, for example, if I remove this guy, gravity layout, it will determine where the layout it should be placed itself. You see, it is going there in the middle. Why? Because it cannot collapse itself in the what? In the center. I mean, it goes in the center because it cannot go in the bottom. So in fact, in simple terms, gravity layout, it is about the layout itself. Then gravity is about the what? The content that is inside that particular element. I repeat, gravity attribute in linear layout, it is about the content that is inside the layout. It positions the content that is inside the layout, as you can see here. It is positioning this text view. But the gravity layout, it will position the layout itself. For example, this text view, this gravity layout is the one that do what? That changes it. Okay, for example, I can say right, so it is going in the right. But if I put here another gravity, what does it mean? It means that it will align the text within it, or the content within it, which is the text. That is gravity. But gravity layout, it means the layout itself. Most, I do understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So those are the most common things that we always use. We can proceed to image view. So the image view will help us to put an element within our what? Within our application. It will help us to put an image within our what? Within our application. Now I'm going to put here an image. I'll just use the same application. Okay, so I'm going to put here an image view. So to put an image view, you simply write the opening tag, and then can't see me. Yeah, so members, image view, it will help us put the image into what? Into our application. So here right now we're going to put the just local images. Then as we proceed, I'll show you how we can put images from internet into our application. For now we're going to just put local ones. So I'm going to give this image maybe 200 watt, 200 dp. Let me give it width 200 watt, 200 dp, and height 200 dp, and then I close. Okay, so I can give it maybe some margin. See, margin. So you see, the good thing about defining your dimensions is you can reuse them. You see, I can reuse them and I can change them anytime. Fatmat, I hope you've understood that point.
Hello, may I ask please?
So ask.
Yeah, like this on the like vertical, can you put like more than one view on the same horizontal line? Because yesterday it was bothering me.
Yes.
And you also, and beside again, you give an other view as a, a vertical too. You give horizontal, for example, two buttons are horizontal and one as vertical. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Like,
Why not? It is possible. I can put other views inside here, and they can also have their own rules. For example, this is orientation vertical. Let me put here another 2 images, which are going to have what? So here just put linear what? Linear layout. You see, I define linear layout inside another linear layout. So orientation, maybe you can say match parent, and then wrap content. Okay, then I come and wrap it here. So inside here I will define another one. So you see the other one was vertical, so let me give another orientation here, or for this one horizontal, and then I'm going to put here two images. You see, I put one, I put the second one. So you can see here there are 2 images, so I can just say maybe match parent, and I put here also width match parent, and then I come and give them I give them weight, so that they should have same weight. So the weight, I also give you a weight 1. So you see, I have 2 images. Can you see, Musa? Can you see?
yes, I now see.
So you just you have to understand how it works. That's the main point. The main point is to understand how it works. Okay, so you have one. I can give it here. Maybe I want to just put an image square. So you can put even another linear inside another linear another side, just like that. Just keep on practicing until you understood them. So there's no way around. So I give this one orientation, so width, and just remove this guy. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I want to put something in this image. So if I want to put there something, I can simply come and after I define the image view, I'm going to get the image itself. So I can come and get this image, Miss Uganda. Okay, let me put this one. So to put an image, let me see Uganda. Okay, so let me get this one. Okay, so if I get this image, I can just simply come and JPG. Okay, I have some photos here. .png. There's my CV. Okay, let me get this one. So I can just drag and drop this image where? So Musa, let me ask you, where are we going to put this image in these folders?
It will be on the drive. Is it drivable?
What?
Drawable rather.
Under dribble. Good. So I can control drag and drop it there. I can as well go and copy it and paste it there. So now another thing is how you rename your resources. Your resources, when you're renaming them, listen carefully. Don't put spaces. Okay, don't put spaces, and don't use capital letters. Okay, when you're renaming the resources, don't put spaces, don't put capital letters. So to wrap this one, maybe I can say Mohindo 1, for example. If I want to put space, just put underscore instead. So that's how we rename resources. Please don't put space, don't put. So after doing that, I will come and give src here, And members should learn how to solve your own your own bugs. Really, really, really. If I can solve mine, then you have to solve yours too. You cannot become a good developer if they are still solving your bugs. For sure. You have just go through it and solve your own problems. Unless you're like really, really, really stuck, then you can ask for help. But every problem that you get, you start asking for help, then you'll never finish all the problems. But the powerful technique is to learn how to solve your own problem. That's the most powerful technique that I can ever teach you. Learning how to solve your own problems. But as long as anything you get, oh please help me, anything you get, you play, then I'll have not taught you, because they will never end. They will come again and again and again. So you can see here, I'm having what? I've put SRC. It's just like HTML. So SRC, and then I'm refreshing from where? From drawables. So if I put control and space, control and click on space, they'll suggest for me the image that are inside what? Inside drawable. So I put window 1, so you can see my image has come there. Okay, so you see, that's how we put the images in the Android app. I hope it's understandable. Husna, did you understand it? Husna, are you following?
Yeah.
Did you understand? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Did you start practicing though? Husna?
Yeah, sir.
You started?
Yeah.
I don't want you to remain behind. That's why I'm asking. So, yeah, that's the application. You see my simple application with my photo. So, I can sell it. I can put it on Play Store. Hello there. And I just put it on Play Store and people will download. So, that's how we do it. That's how I add images in the what? In the Android. So, as we proceed, I'll show you how you can center them, zooming them. So, we go to the next thing, text view. Text view, you've already seen it, so I don't need to repeat that. Text view already here. We proceed to another thing. Edit text. Okay, so edit text is the one that will enable us to collect data from what? From the users. So just open this tag and then put edit text, and then give it maybe width, match parent, wrap content, and then give it. So if I close this one, then you'll see that we have here edit text. So for example, I can give it padding bottom, I can give it maybe large, so it will have some. Okay, I give it margin bottom, it will have large. So you can see we're having some space here in bottom. So this one will enable us to enter the content from what? From users. So I can now go ahead and do it, and go ahead and give the hint. So here it has also its own attributes, the common attributes. But among the attributes that we put is hint. Hint, you can guess what it does. It gives the name to this text edit. So I can say your name. I can say enter name. I can say name. Okay. So I can put phone, something like that. So this is the this is asking the user to do what? To enter their phone number. So let us run it and see how it will look like on a mobile. So I just simply click on restarting the activity. So it will process, and then we will get what we are going to see. That's what we'll get. Okay, so you see we're having this one later. So edit text will enable us to do what? To get the data from the users, as you can see here. Enter phone number. So I can put Muhindo Mubarak. So you see the problem is that even where we ask the user to enter phone number, but still we're doing what you're able to enter text. So what if you want to limit the user? If you ask him to enter phone number, he should enter phone number. So what if you want to limit that user? So what do? So we're going to see what we call input type. Can you see? That is edit text. You're going to see what we call input type. So input type is an attribute for edit text. Just press Ctrl Enter and just put, Ctrl Space, just write input type. You see, input type will give you suggestions of different inputs that Android can accept. We have phone numbers, we have text, we have emails, we have date, we have, so you see these ones, they are different ones that we accept, passwords and the rest. See, these are different input types. If you want to accept only the link, you want to accept only emails. So I'll come here and put phone, for example, phone. You know what the phone does. The phone is made of what? Of integers. But you can see here we're getting the keyboard that allows everything. So that allows us to put the text. But since we have put that the input type should be phone number, then it means that this input is going to be limited to phone number. So let us click there. You see, the keyboard that I get is the keyboard for numbering. My keyboard is not looking that good, but that's what I have. But you can see they're giving us the numbered keyboard. Okay, so input type is very important to specify what you need from the user. But if you leave it, no problem. However, if you leave it, you may be subjected to wrong inputs, whereby you may ask the user to enter the email, and then they put their other things, their names, which even have spaces. Yet the email cannot allow what? Cannot allow space. You may ask the user to enter the phone number, and then they put their words. So if you want to avoid all those complications, what do? You specify the input type. Okay. Likewise to password and the rest, you can specify them from here, the input type. Any question? Fatmat is not there. What's up with members? Fatmata, Husna, where are they? Guys, you're getting tired while it is still early. Seriously? That is so bad. I'll give you tasks, otherwise if you're not ready, you better tell me early, and I do other things. I have so many things to learn. The second class, only 2 people are available. If you're not ready, you better tell me, and I do other things than wasting time. I'll start giving then assignments, tasks to do. You don't submit 2 tasks, I quit you. That's what will work, I think, because the second class we're having 2 people, yet we're supposed to be 5. That is so bad. Okay, we'll see. So let's look at the Android app architecture. Android app life cycle. If you guys are not interested, I'm going to determine that while it is till early. Because I have so many things that I can go and invest in my time. Like for sure. So we'll just look at Android app architecture. Android app life cycle. Okay. So Android app life cycle, it is how our application is going to do what is going to be organized. What's the time? We're remaining 25 minutes. What's the time? 35. Okay, let us take a break of 3 minutes. Okay. Let us take a break of 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes. So at 9:37 we should be here. 9:37 we should be here. Let's take a break. Be a little bit attentive. So
but we are only 2 here.
placard and say
So-
point of inquiry. Could the chair
so-
explain what that means? They will always define that for
Are
you.
you following really? Are you watching
On the
other
flip
things?
side, you're very, very experienced and you want to raise a point of order or a point of parliamentary procedure. This means that you feel that the chair
What
has
are you
done
doing,
something
Harley?
wrong.
Are you following my classes?
Um,
Anyway, let me mind my business. I doubt you guys are following. Okay. So let us look at what? Let us look at how the Android life cycle goes. Android life cycle. Life cycle. Android life cycle. So Android life cycle, it shows how our application is executed when we run it. So this is how Android life cycle is. We have the activity. When we start the activity, that is what happens. We start this. The activity will start, and then after the activity, we'll call the onCreate method. Operating system of the Android, it calls onCreate method, and then after calling onCreate method, it then calls on what? onStart method. On what? onStart method. And then after the onStart method, it will call the on resume, on create, on start, on resume. Then after on resume, then the application will start running. Your application will run here. So if we put application in background, it will call on pause. On pause, in fact, it was removed, but it will call on pause. Then if the application resume, then it will come back to what? To resume, in case it did not close the application. So after if the application stops, it will then have to call the what? The onStop method. And if the application is killed, for example, you run out of RAM, this application will have to be created again when you resume it. Otherwise, if the RAM is still there in space, this application will have to come back on start without resuming. Without being created again. So that activity will have to come on start without being created again. So that's how the activity is always, the process that the activity passes in. Then we have onStop, and then this onStop method, it will do what? It will be called when the application stops, and then we have onDestroy. It will be called when the application is destroyed, and then the application will shut down, will be closed in case we don't. The activity will be closed in case the application is moved out of the what? Out of the RAM. So these events or these callback methods, they are important, and we can use them to perform different decisions. For example, if you're creating an application that cares about the data of the user, for example, when the user puts the application in background, when he puts it in background, for example, when he pauses the application, you may collect the available data that is in that activity and you save it, so that when the application resumes, you do what? You feed back the data that he or she had done what? Had paused. So likewise to onStart and onStop. For example, if you don't want the user to stop the application, you can warn them. For example, assume that you're making a quiz application or an examination application, and you don't want the user to open other applications when yours is running. So when he stops the application, you can send a warning that you have detected that they have stopped the application. So these events, they can help us to perform different things. For example, remember on create, we always use it. When you create the application, it's where we always put the layout in the screen of that particular activity. So let us look at other methods. Other events that are called when the Android activity is going through the execution. So what I'll do here, I'll come here to main, and then here I'm going to put something in the log. So to put an item in the log console or console, what do? We simply write the word, for example, log d, and then it will define for you the log.d, and you'll be able to add an element in the console. But to add an element in the console, you have to target a word or a keyword that will enable you to search it. Members, I hope you're following. You'll have to add there a keyword that will enable you to do what? To search that element. And that element is called a tag. I mean, that keyword, you can use it, to be called a tag. So if you don't have the tag, you can define here. It's just going to be, for example, public static final string. See, public static final string, and you can call it, for example, a tag, and then you give it a value. For example, you can say my maybe my main activity. So everything that you put in the console that will have this tag will be attached to what? To my main activity. Why do we define this tag? Because you need to simply see what we have put in the console. Otherwise, there's no other big business about this tag. Okay, you can as well do like this, log t, then it will do what? It will help you to define that tag. You see? So mine, I made it public, but I can as well make it what? Private. It doesn't matter. Okay, so log d is for putting something in the console, and then log t is for putting the what? Okay, so as you can see here, I put the tag. So this tag will help us just to identify which element that. So I can see application, I can say activity, I can say creating activity. So this one, immediately when I call the onCreate method here, I just override it. This one will be placed in the what? In the activity. So let us put another element. Let us override another event. For example, let us override the onCreate. onCreate, already seen it. On start. So to override on start, just write in small letter on, and then start in S with capital letter, and then start. So on start, it will write for you this on start that we're overriding. So let me put here log t, log what? Log d. Log d should be log.d, and then I can put here the activity is, okay, I can put starting activity. So that one will be called when the activity is doing what? Is being started. So another thing, let's put on what? On what else? On start, on resume, on what? On resume, and then I can put log d and say resuming the app or the activity. Okay, then that is log d. Let us put resume, that's done. Let us put on stop and what? On pause. On stop and on pause. So on stop, you just put on what? On stop, and then you can put here, for example, log d. So why are these important? It's because we can call a certain function, or we can execute a certain line of code in these different events when the application is being stopped, or the application is being resumed, or the application is being started. So stopping app. Okay, so let us run it and we see what is going to happen. So I click on the run, and let us go to the log cut, and you see. So you can see, okay, how do you see the log cut? By simply clicking here. Can you see here, log cut? Then to give you the log, the console. But you can see there are so many things in the console, so many things, so many things. So the one who was asking that she was getting mistakes without seeing the problems, those problems are always displayed in what? In console. So our application is here, it has started, but we cannot see the elements like the events that we're listening. Okay, so to do that, you first change this one to debug, change it to debug mode, but still there's so many we cannot see. And after doing that, you can now come and get the what? The tag. Remember, we tagged all our things that we put in what? In the console. We tagged all of them. So if you want to get that tag, just paste it here, and then you'll see elements with those what? With those tags. Did you understand? You see, we are seeing elements with those specific tags. So that's how we use the console. So let us see what happens. Our application did what? It was created here, and then later it was started, and then later it resumed, just like the way it is here. Create, start, and resume. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to pause. It is on pause. Did you put on pause? I don't think on pause is there. On pause. Okay. So just put here. Log D. Say pausing. Pausing the app. The activity. Okay. So you see, that's it. You have on create, on start, on resume. Then we can run here the application elements. Oh, the application here, it is running. Yeah, that's when it is running. Then if we pause it, it will call this one. If we stop it, it will call this one. And if we destroy it, it will call the on destroyed. So let us try to pause the application. How can I pause the application? By just simply putting what? Putting it in the background. Let me delete everything here. Musa, are you understanding? Members, are you understanding?
Yes, yes.
Husna, are you understanding? Husnata?
Yes.
You understanding, right? Speak. Are you understanding or not? Husna?
Yeah.
You understand?
Sorry.
Speak.
Yeah.
Why are you so scared?
Scared.
There is no boys, man. There's no boy in this class.
Yes, Mbara.
Maybe you're fearing boys.
Seriously, Musa is not a boy.
Hey, Musa. Hey, Musa is a boy. You remind me.
No, yeah, I'm a man. No, I'm a man. There is no boy. Yeah, I'm a man.
Musa is a kid, man. So, I'm going to do what? I'm going to pause this application. So, how do you pause it? By just simply clicking here. Just put in the background. Can you see? The application, this on stop was called. So, when they call here on stop, here, like it. So, you can do your operations here. I don't know whether you're getting the point why we're doing this. You see? You just override this on stop. So, you can do your operations in this on stop thing. See? You can do operations here on stop. So if you click on the application again, can you see? It is starting, again it is resuming. So likewise here, after on stop, the application has to come back to where? To start, and it will resume. In fact, this on pause, I hear they removed it. On pause and on resume. I don't know. You see, it is not being called on pause. It is not being called. But otherwise, it will be start and then resumed. But it was not created. Can you see? There's a difference between on start and being on create. It means that that layout is going to be rendered afresh. But here on resume, you see, on stop it will stop and then it will come back to on start again. It means that it was not destroyed. But if you run out of RAM, then it will have to do what? To kill that process, and then it will have to create it afresh. But right now we did not put so many things in RAM, so that's why I see it goes in on stop, and when we resume it, can you see? On stop. And that's this is the tag. If we remove this tag, then we'll have so many things that we may even fail to identify. Then after we click on this, you see it is resuming. So in these events you can do different things, you can perform different things according to what your application may need. So that is how it works. So let me remove it from background, and we see what will happen. So I just close it. You see, I close it completely. So can you see when I closed it, it called the what? Stopping the app. Okay, I did not put on destroying. So if I open the app, where is it though? Okay, if I open the app, then it will have to start afresh and do what and being created and started and resumed. See, you see, creating the app, starting the app, and resuming the app, just like the way it was here. Okay, so you may check, like when it is starting the app, you need to check if the user is logged in or not logged in and make some decisions. So you can call those things here on start. So it is up to you how you want to use these events. I hope you've understood. So what else? That's how life cycle is of Android activity. That's how the life cycle of Android activity. So open activity by button click. I did that in the previous class. I believe you still remember how we did that. Open activity by what? By click listener. I did that in the previous class. So in the next class we'll look at now, we'll come back now to what? To our serious business, as how it is listed in syllabus, the menu, the pop-up menu, the bottom navigation and navigations. All those things we'll look them in the next class. So get ready for that. Practice what I've taught you. Also as well, practice from other teachers. Don't practice from me alone. These videos up to the video number 12 is already on internet on YouTube. In that playlist, you can as well look for other videos on my that YouTube channel. Then I'll add for these ones, inshallah, today or tomorrow, and then we'll have to practice before the next class. Yeah, if you don't practice as an individual, it will be the loss for you, not the loss for us all. So that's it for today, unless there is any question. Is there any question, members?